Welcome to this transfer admitted student seminar. My name is Jeff Gallant. I'm one of the members of the BC Office for Undergraduate Admissions who works with transfer students, and we just really appreciate your time here today. Congratulations on your acceptance. We're excited. We saw over 1,400 students apply for transfer admission for fall 2023. We're looking to enroll a class of 100 new students. So needless to say, we feel like this is a group of some of the most interesting and successful college students over the past year or two. So we're honored by your interest and your serious consideration. Also, this is the first year of our own transfer application. So thank you for finding us as we left Common App and used our Boston College transfer application. So we were wondering, what that was going to do to applications, and still we remain a very popular transfer option for students with 1,400 applications. But again, I have some slides. I'm going to move quickly but efficiently through the slides. We expect that this will go probably, I'd say, less than 40 minutes, maybe 35, 40 minutes. There are a few of us in the BC office that read both freshman applicants and transfer applicants. And behind the scenes right now are my colleagues, Amy, Sue, Danielle, Kristen, and Jordan. So if you want to utilize the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen, please feel free to do that, and they'll be able to answer your questions. If you write a question and you don't get a response, they maybe just be catching up, or they know I'm going to talk about it later on in the presentation. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Okay. So let me just start by talking a little bit about Boston College. So Boston College is a religious affiliation, more Catholic, and then more specifically, we were founded by the Jesuits, who are a group of Catholic priests who for centuries now have enjoyed a very successful tradition as educators. So we feel like we're an inclusive place. We're a place where many different types of students can feel comfortable and thrive. You hear a couple of mottos associated with Jesuit education: men and women, for and with others, cura personalis, educating the whole person. Next week we're going to graduate, or later this month we're going to graduate our seniors, and I think every year we graduate proponents of Jesuit education. So even if things other than Jesuit education drew you to BC and to apply and to be interested in our university, I think most students enjoy attending a Jesuit institution, and it becomes a more meaningful part of their college experience than they anticipated. So we have 9,500 undergraduate students. And at any given time, that means out of the 9,500, our community is home to hundreds of students who entered BC through the transfer admission pathway. So these 9,500 undergrads are divided among 4 academic divisions. And in the fall, we enroll transfer students to all 4. So they're listed right there by their acronyms. So we have the Morrissey College of Arts and Sciences, the Carroll School of Management, the Lynch School of Education and Human Development, and the Knell School of Nursing. So you applied and were admitted to one of those 4. If you've been to campus, you have a appreciation for this, but if you haven't been, our campus is embedded in a neighborhood, surrounded on 3 sides by neighborhood homes and a 4th side by a reservoir. So while we are close to the city, you see the Boston skyline from various points around campus, and Boston is a place where people utilize public transportation. So the fact that the subway, or T as we call it, has a stop right across the street from campus, that really allows our students to feel connected to the city of Boston. But at the same time, we're able to offer a traditional residential campus experience. And then one thing to know about BC is that we don't have Greek life, so we don't have fraternities and sororities. So the way we build campus communities through extracurricular involvement. So students find friends through our clubs and organizations. And one benefit of transferring to Boston College in the fall is that the fall programming is robust. It's a new academic year for everyone, whether you're new to BC or it's just a new year. So we have something that's a big tradition on campus. It's called the Campus Involvement Fair, where all 300 plus clubs and organizations are represented. And it's a great way to sign up for a bunch of things. And then you sort of organize your academic interest during the year. But that's something that will happen early on in the fall if you choose us. So on your application, you applied either as a resident or as a commuter, and you were admitted based on that choice. If you applied as a resident, the policy for transfer students is that we guarantee your first year will be on campus. So the upcoming 2023-2024 year, you can plan on campus housing. When students apply out of high school, they're either given 3 or 4 years of on-campus housing. Half our students get 3, half our students get 4. So that the tradition at BC is students live on campus freshman and sophomore years. Junior year is the year that they may live off. One reason is something we're going to talk about in a minute, and that's study abroad. It's really popular here. So a significant percentage of the junior class spends all or part of that year overseas. And that is the time when students, if they're going to study during the academic year, they do so junior year. So if you're entering as a first semester sophomore in the fall, you'll be in step with your class because you'll be on campus this upcoming year, as most sophomores are at BC. And then you'll be off campus junior year, but you only had a 50-50 shot of getting 4 years of housing had you applied out of high school and been admitted out of high school. And I think even some students that have 4 years will live off campus junior year because that's what their friend group is doing and they want that off-campus experience. One thing to keep in mind as a transfer student, we can't guarantee that your senior year will be back on campus. And that is a time when the vast majority of students do choose to live back on campus, which I think is a great thing. It's a testament to the quality of our resident hall facilities and just the vibrancy of campus life. It's something you can appeal to have your senior year back on campus. You can work with our colleagues in residential life to see if that is possible. I would say, in the last couple of years, we've had good success being able to get transfer students back on campus, but that can vary year to year. So if you make us your transfer choice, this should be something that you consider, that we can't guarantee that you'd be able to get back on campus as a senior. And if we have any first semester juniors, just know that your guaranteed year will be the upcoming year. So you would have to take it in the fall 2023-2024 year. And just a little bit about costs. So what we hear from transfer students and all our students is that the cost of the year living off campus is comparable to being on campus, because you replace the room and board charge that you have when you're living on campus with off-campus rents. And there's a lot of inventory nearby campus, many houses and apartments that BC students reside in each year. So when you're going to look for apartments, you have some great resources in the upperclassmen that are currently living in those places to give you the real scoop on how that place is. Also, there's a arm of the Boston College Office of Residential Life that helps students navigate the off-campus process. So certainly that's part of the 4-year experience for many of our students off-campus living. I think right now is a good time to talk about financial aid. So if at your current school, you were awarded a merit-based scholarship, please know that will not come with you to Boston College. We offer very limited merit-based aid. We have one small program for freshmen called the Gallant Presidential Scholars Program. So we select those students out of high school. We do not have any merit opportunities for transfer students, But we are very generous in terms of need-based financial aid. So we're one of 21 schools in the country that meets the full demonstrated need of every applicant. So maybe for a small percentage of you're going to lose that merit package, but maybe we're able to offer more of your need than your current institution, if that makes sense. So more financial aid based on your family's financial situation. We do primarily need-based aid, but please know that we aren't able to offer you merit-based aid. I spoke about it a minute ago, study overseas. Again, a significant part of our undergraduate population goes abroad. We have many internal programs where the process is completely handled by Boston College. And then if you look on our Office of Global Education's website, the list of external programs, approved external programs, is lengthy. So something we do really well as far as advisement in the variety of places you can go. If you're entering as a first semester sophomore to Boston College, you would be eligible for academic year programs as a junior. You haven't missed those deadlines. If you're entering BC later in your career, so second semester sophomores or first semester juniors, you would not be eligible for academic year programs unless you potentially could choose to study in the fall of your senior year, which is not common at BC. As I said, most of our students, if they're studying during the academic year, are doing it as juniors. But perhaps that's a possibility for you. But I think what's a better option is that we have summer programs. And summer programs tend to be shorter in length. Instead of an 11-week semester, they're 3 to 6 weeks in length. And you would be eligible to do a summer program between your junior and senior year. But again, you can talk to our office, or we might direct you to our colleagues in the Office of Global Education if that is important to you in the remaining part of your college experience, and we want to make sure BC is a good fit for those goals. All right, let's talk a little bit about advising. So we will ask you to attend an orientation session. Your session will be July 23rd through the 25th. It's a Sunday to a Tuesday. You will register for your fall semester classes at that orientation, so you meet with advisors to help you do that. Our Office of First Year Experience, they're great partners. They do a terrific job. Please know that they're very respectful. They will not be condescending to you. It's an introduction to Boston College, not college, our orientation program. That's why we feel like it's so valuable for all of you. You'll learn a lot about BC. You'll get to meet each other in person. And again, you register for your fall semester classes. So the way each academic division handles registration and advising is a little bit different. For the professional schools, Carroll, Lynch, and Cannell, advising is handled by the dean's office. So if we're your choice, you'll hear from academic deans in those offices shortly after June 1st throughout the summer to help you prepare for orientation. In Morrissey, in the Morrissey College of Arts and Sciences, that advising is really faculty driven. So you'll interact with faculty during the advising process, and the faculty are supported by a terrific administrator named Dr. Trace Answorth. So each class, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, has a class dean, and Trace is the sophomore class dean, but she's also the dean for all transfer students. So she'll be a good resource for you. She's going to be at the accepted student event we're having next week. You'll get to meet her. And then also we have a great academic advising center staffed by professional academic advisors who work with all first year students, freshmen and transfers. So these are the people that will help you get off to a good start academically. Let's talk about the work that we do here in the Undergraduate Admissions Office. So, we had admitted you, and then we have another step where we can take some of your external classes that you previously completed, and we can say, all right, these classes are counting towards your total graduation requirements. And we've given you that information. We'll talk a little bit more about where to find that information in a minute here. And then we can go one step beyond that. We have a university core So we have 15 semester-long courses in 10 different subject areas that students have all 4 years to complete, but they are required classes. So it's a semester of writing, a semester of literature, semester of math, fine arts, 2 semesters of history, 2 social science, 2 philosophy, 2 theology, cultural diversity, and if you're in the Morrissey College of Arts and Sciences, a foreign language requirement. It sounds like a lot, but I would say most of you have completed a good amount of core at this point. If you've declared a major, that's the step that we cannot perform. So over the summer, what we'll be doing is you're going to get those major specific courses slotted into the major sequence here at BC, and that work is done by the academic departments. So around the time of orientation, we'll send out a transfer credit evaluation form. That's where you can list information about those courses, attach a syllabi for each class, and the professors can use that information to slot it into the major sequence before orientation and then also during orientation. So I wanted to show you, we've sent you a degree audit, but this is the BC student system Eagle Apps. And this view, which you'll have as a current student, is a little bit more user-friendly. So you see, you're up at the top of the degree audit. It gives you how many credits you've already earned, maybe how many are in progress. We'll talk a little bit about that, and how many you have remaining. And you'll see, here's an example of how you'll see it. So this student is in the Morrissey College of Arts and Sciences and has the next section of the degree audit that you'll see, and you got a version of this, but it doesn't look as clean as this. You see that it slots in your classes and what university core requirements that they're fulfilling. I think for you right now, the important thing is to review the transfer explanation letter that's in your portal. What that document highlights is it gives you your entrance term, so second semester freshman, first or second semester sophomore, first semester junior. It gives you a graduation date and the number of credits accepted in transfer. If you have any questions about the information on the transfer explanation letter, please let us know, because that governs everything at this point. You can look at your degree audit and see if you can understand it. We can help you through that, but that should give you a sense of some of the university core requirements that you fulfilled. If the credits are a little off on the degree audit, that's okay, just as long as you're good with what's on your explanation letter. And I'll talk a little bit about some reasons why that might be in a little bit. Also too, you might see some weird symbols. You kind of see it on this screen, the R's, TR. Please disregard. That's nothing to worry about. It's just coding language that's sort of insignificant to what you need to know right now. But just as long as you feel good about what's on the explanation letter, that's great. And if you have any questions, just let us know. All right, so let's talk about some special cases. Just talked about the degree audit, AP scores. So at Boston College, we award placement, not credit, for qualifying AP scores. And if you just Google Boston College Advanced Placement Policy, it'll bring you to the page on our website that explains our policy and lists all the scores and what the course equivalencies are. We will ask if you enroll to send us your official AP scores as soon as possible so we can add those scores to your record. And again, any qualifying scores, for the most part, it's 4s and 5s. We'll use those scores to fulfill corresponding university core areas. So again, the scores aren't going to reduce the total number of credits you need to earn to graduate from Boston College, but they may fulfill core areas and give you added flexibility in your 2 or 3 year program to complete a major and maybe achieve some other academic goals. On your degree audit, you may see some classes listed in progress. So we don't have a final transcript from you. So again, if you choose to matriculate at BC, what you want to do is you want to send us your final transcript, and we'll replace those IP grades with your actual letter grades from this current semester. Philosophy and theology. These departments approve all core classes. So you'll have to use that transfer evaluation form later this summer to fulfill the core areas in philosophy and theology. And sometimes we have students transferring from maybe other Catholic schools, and they've taken multiple philosophy and multiple theology classes. I'll just say that it's a rule at BC that one theology and one philosophy has to be taken here at Boston College. So if you have 2 philosophy courses or 2 theology classes, you're not going to fulfill the entire requirement, if that makes sense. You'll have one, we'll give you one philosophy, and then you'll still have to take another philosophy here at BC, and same with theology. The courses will still count towards your graduation requirements, but you'll have to fulfill that specific core requirement. Economics. So we don't teach micro and macroeconomics separately at BC, but some of you have taken both. So we do in that case is if you have taken microeconomics and macroeconomics, you'll get our combined course on our audit. It's called ECON 1101. That's our one economics class. And then you'll get an additional elective class in economics. If you've taken just one of them, you'll fulfill half the social science requirement. So 1/2 of the 2 semester core requirement. And this is an example that because we have to combine micro and macro, this might be a reason that your credits on your degree audit don't match what's on your explanation letter. But again, go with what's on your explanation letter. And then finally, a good amount of you are first semester juniors, which is great. You know, we have success enrolling first semester juniors every year. When we discussed you in committee, we decided to admit you, based on the strength of your application. We felt that your candidacy was compelling, and also we feel comfortable that you'd be able to complete your chosen major in 4 semesters. Now, if you have additional things you want to do, if you have a second major in mind, multiple minors, will you please talk to us before you make your decision? We just want to make sure that you'll have the space in 4 semesters. So that's 20 classes at BC. The typical course load is our students take 5 3-credit classes in the fall semester and another 5 3-credit classes in the spring semester. We don't have a January term. It's traditional semesters. So 5 3-credit classes in the fall, 5 3-credit classes in spring. So for a total of 10 courses, 30 credits. And then 4 years, 120 credits. So if you're coming in as a first semester junior, you're looking at 5 classes over 4 semesters, 20 classes. We want to just make sure that you have the space. We feel comfortable that you're going to finish the major that you listed on the application, as well as any of the core requirements. But if you want to do things beyond that, let's just talk and make sure that that's possible. Just to be transparent and upfront before you make your decision. I mentioned orientation a little bit ago. It's it's just a great thing to participate in. Well, it's mandatory that you participate in, but I hope you look forward to it. Here's the contact information for FYE. The system isn't quite ready for you to register. It'll be later this month, probably May 20th, 22nd is when we're told that you should be able, if you made the decision to attend BC, you should be able to log into your portal and be able to do that. But the functionality just isn't ready yet, but it will be soon. Here are some next steps, key dates to keep in mind. So you all have until June 1st to let us know whether or not you plan to accept our offer of admission. Again, orientation and registration. I pulled this directly from the Office of Residential Life's website. So you'll move into housing for the fall semester on those dates, the 25th and the 26th. And then the first day of classes is on the 28th. A few things to point out as you try to learn a little bit more about BC. So our student admission program is one of the largest campus organizations, student run, or we're staffed by volunteers, but one of the largest student organizations at BC. And so there is a transfer leadership position. That person is Lindsay Gilton. You may have heard from her. If you have any questions, she's a great contact for the current student perspective. We also have a number of current students featured on our website with their contact information listed. We can help you get in contact. Whoever read your application, their information is in your portal. So you'll please feel free to reach out to any one of us as you finalize your choice, but Lindsay is a great contact person as well. I mentioned earlier, we have an on-campus admitted student program next Thursday. If you're not able to make it, that's perfectly fine. But if you are able to attend, we did it last year for the first time post-COVID, and it was incredibly well received. We get great buy-in. We have a panel of administrators that play important roles. So Dr. Ainsworth will be on the panel. The director of residential life. We have a representative from student involvement in the Office of Global Education. We'll do a session on the audit and your record, just so you understand that better. You'll have lunch, and then we have a campus tour as well. And we'll have faculty from the various departments sitting with you at lunch, as well as some current students who entered as a transfer. So there's still time to register for that. That begins at 9:30. Registrations from 9 to 9:30 in Devlin Hall, where the admissions office is located. I think I'll just close by saying, we'll work very hard this summer and the early fall to help you get off to a successful start. There will be a transition acclimation period. That's to be expected. But our job is to try to help make that as short as possible. And I think I speak for my colleagues when I say it's just really rewarding to work with transfer students. One, you've been in college, right? So I think there's maturity that comes with that. You're savvy, you know what questions to ask. Maybe there's more confidence of what you like and don't like. But we see students be very successful at Boston College. We feel like we have the resources in place to help you succeed. And then it's your initiative too. We definitely value you. I think you're going to make our campus a more diverse and interesting place. And the reward is, all the seniors that we know right now who will be graduating later this month, just to see the experience they have here. And it's very rewarding to work with a student that, their college experience starts off poorly, it's just not a good fit. They do well academically, as all of you have, but it's just not a good fit from a social standpoint or other reasons. Or it's not bad, but it's not as good as it can be. And they've made their way to Boston College. And as seniors, they realize that the college experience that they had envisioned. And all of this that you've gone through, the process of transitioning and transferring is a distant memory. And people just feel like you've been here the whole time, all 4 years. And it's so exciting to watch students kind of grow in that way and just see how successful they are. And that's hundreds of transfer students at any given time here. So COVID disrupted your high school experience, maybe it impacted your college search. Here you have the opportunity to have a traditional college search process if that was taken away from you during the pandemic. So please utilize us as resources to help you make the best decision for you and your loved ones. Once again, we really appreciate your time this afternoon. We hope to see you in person next week. If not, please reach out to us with any questions. Congratulations again on your success. You're very deserving. You've worked very hard, and we just really appreciate, the consideration you're giving BC to be your transfer choice. All right. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Thank you.